Welcome, you're watching Head to Head. I'm Antonina Antosha with UATV. NATO and Ukraine strengthen cooperation in cyberspace. Now, the alliance is helping Ukraine to set up a cyber incident response center. So how will it help us in preventing the cyber threats? To discuss this, we welcome in our studio today Kyrylo Bialo. He's an IT expert and a general manager at Crossover in Ukraine. Hello, and thank you for joining us.
Hello, Anthony.
So, a center for the protection of cyberspace will appear in Ukraine. That's according to Jens Stoltenberg, the General Secretary of NATO. Could you comment? What kind of center is this? What will the functions be, and how will it benefit Ukraine?
Yeah, sure. So that's definitely the great fact, actually, because the cybersecurity in our country is not so great, because you remember the latest threats were PETA-A and VPN filter, and that's obviously not very good. So the main thing to understand here is actually about that NATO is not participating directly in our cybersecurity. They are doing it via trust funds, via trust organizations, via charity organizations, and other organizations, actually. And how can they contribute and help to us is actually to help us develop our technologies, to help us with the software, with the hardware, and actually to keep fighting with such threats.
Are you saying that our cybersecurity defense shield is as that undeveloped that we are not even able to fight the attacks that were carried out on Ukraine recently, saying the PETA-A and the one that was after that?
Unfortunately, I have to admit that, because we have not such a great conditions for developing this kind of industry. I mean, cybersecurity. It actually depends on many factors, and one of the most important is actually the social engineering. It's about the people. It's about the end users who are using their laptops, their PCs, their Macs, and they simply don't understand how to behave in such a modern environment, which can threat from, let's say, from any place, from any space, from any link. So it's quite hard. This is the first factor. And the second factor, of course, is about the specialists themselves, because of probably one of the factors is actually a low salary. Because we in our company strongly believe that despite the location, people should earn the decent money, as per their skills. So, of course, when the cybersecurity specialists contribute to the company, and what he is doing, he is shielding the company, actually. He's defending the company. And the threats may cost, millions of dollars. So when people are defending company from millions of losses, why should they be paid like $500 or $600 per month? So this is not the case. So obviously there are many factors which can influence this state which we have right now with the cybersecurity in Ukraine.
Okay, well, the month of October has been announced the month of cybersecurity in Ukraine. Maybe it's time to raise all those issues, but nevertheless, and other than that, are we trying to educate Ukrainian users, Ukrainian web users on how to prevent the viruses from getting into their systems and on their laptops? Are we trying to get those that knowledge out there so people are aware and know how to act, which is the most important thing? Because usually when people get a virus, they're like, oh, I don't know what to do. They close the laptop and then the virus just spreads around. So what do we do?
Well, actually, what we are doing is, well, let me describe what is happening now in Ukraine, actually.
Please.
Yeah, so we are now like a battlefield, for the whole world. So our technologies can be developed, they can be attacked, and all the things, because there are many viruses we even don't know about. So, for example, 2 years ago, it was in Western Ukraine. It was a cyber attack for electricity, for electricity station, and it caused actually the absence of electricity in the whole region. So that was a cyber attack, and probably people even don't know about that. So what we are doing, we are organizing different educational events again, because it's all about, again, the social engineering, as you mentioned, yeah? So people like close their laptops and don't know what to do. So that's not the case. Of course, people should be aware of the sources of threats they can receive. Right, so
exactly.
Yeah, so it can be suspicious, like links or emails. Of course, when you see the kitten and you have a link to click on that, you will probably click on that. But
I won't.
Yeah, of course, because you're educated about that, right? And we are trying to do that. For example, we are trying to organize, I mean, the Ukrainian society, trying to organize the different hackathons, which are aimed to actually help the whole organizations to cope with their cybersecurity problems and issues. What our companies are doing, they are launching, and not only our companies, the companies all over the world are launching the bug bounty programs where people can find the bugs in the systems, find the holes in the systems, and security.
Wait, there are apps for that already? There are apps for that already to find bugs in the program?
No, people can find bugs in programs. Just people, just users.
So like me, I can launch an app on my, let's say, smartphone or a Note and what?
No, I mean, if you are a coder or programmer, you can find the bug, of course.
I was thinking you were speaking about regular users, and I was just like, what?
yeah, exactly. But of course, if you're a regular user and you find some hole in the system, I don't mean it's in a code or somewhere hidden. It's just, on a surface, and you, let's say, you accidentally found that. And you can report it to the company, and you can get a reward, and you can, of course, fix the program. And of course, it's worth to understand that there are different kind of hackers. So there are black hat hackers and white hat hackers. The black hat hackers are actually aimed to harm people, and the white hat hackers aimed to help people, because
they find those bugs in the programs you were talking about, right?
Exactly. Yeah. So they are doing the things like that, and they are helping companies sometimes from curiosity, sometimes from the aim to earn some money, some bounties. So that's it.
Okay, well, this month, for the first time, Ukraine participated in the International High-Tech Exhibition, Congress and Expo in The Hague, the Netherlands. Again, this was for the first time. What does it mean for Ukraine? Does it mean that we're becoming more aware of cyber threats? Does it mean that we're becoming stronger in cybersecurity? What does it mean?
That's actually a great step for Ukraine, because the Netherlands is, first of all, we have to understand that the Netherlands is one of the most developed countries in Europe in terms of cybersecurity. And what is now happening there is like an educational thing again, and we are getting back to educational stuff. So they educate cyber specialists, they educate like common people about the cybersecurity and the actions they can take from their side to that. And within this informational campaign, there was a forum from the 2nd to 5th of October where the Ukraine was the participant for the first time. Right? And this is obviously the great step, because just in May of this year, we made a law about cybersecurity.
Right.
And that's actually the second step for establishing the good cybersecurity now in our country. And of course, this is a step to European Union, because people in Europe, of course, are watching Ukraine. It's obvious, right? So they're watching how we behave, how we act, and what we are doing in order to be on the standard, right? So that's the great step for this direction as well.
The biggest cyber threat for Ukraine comes from Russia?
Well, Russia creates the great environment for hackers, indeed, I mean black hat hackers, because they don't have the laws for regulating that, they are not chasing them, right? So they are now not prosecuted and all the things, and that's why people from, I mean, black hat hackers from the whole world can actually be based in Russia, and that's why they are all acting from there. Moreover, there are different let's say different grounds for these people, right? So they can be nationalistic, they can be money-wise, they can be idealistic, right?
How do we prove that the threat and the attack came from Russia?
That's a great question, actually, because we have to analyze the very, very special and individual cases. So it just depends on how deep we analyze that. Because nowadays people are just like even I don't know how the security service is working and how people on that level working, but there is usually superficial analysis, and what we have to do the root cause analysis, and we have to understand where the threat is coming from and what it is aimed to, and in every specific case. So in this situation we will understand why and where it comes from.
Okay, how does Ukrainian IT sector contribute to fighting cyber threats that are now threatening Ukraine, or it might be threatening Ukraine in future?
Yeah, of course. That's what we already discussed probably a bit. We have many of people who are doing that bug bounty programs for different companies, for as well for Ukrainian companies. I even know people who are actually doing that only for Ukrainian companies, which is absolutely great.
Patriotic.
Yes, exactly. And we are doing these hackathons. And again, what we are doing, for example, in Crossover, we are educating people about the proper organization of their products. I mean, IT products, of their programs, of their applications. So, for example, today we have a wonderful event about the architecture, how to build the program, how to build the application in terms of security, in order to be secure for users. Because we all are, we have to understand that we came back from the hardware hacking, right? So we are now for software hacking, and moreover again for engineering, social engineering hacking. Because I mean, I can go to Google and find a lot of information about you. Same to me, because we are just putting all this information into the search engines, and that's it, and that's like going mad today. So it's again, it's about the education, it's about the personal contribution, because it's all about people. It's not about like technologies or companies. It's all about people again, and that's what's how we can contribute.
Speaking of people, I'm a regular user, right? How do I safeguard myself from being attacked by a virus and getting my whole laptop, smartphone, PC ruined? Well,
first of all, you have to be on the edge of the news in the world, in the country. The second,
I'm a news anchor. Okay. I'm on the edge.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, I'm not speaking about you. I'm like giving an advice for the regular users who are not in that area. So yeah, first of all, you have to be aware of these threats which can touch you, right? The second thing, you have to know how to use Google. That sounds funny because like it's a search engine, right?
It's supposed to be easy.
Yeah, it seems to be easy, but not so easy as we think. Because like
any tricks you want to tell us?
Well, any tricks? You have to put the right query for that. So like if you want to find something specific, you have to put words in special order. You have to use binary operators and all the things, because
now is there an algorithm on how to use Google?
Yeah, exactly. You can Google for it.
Okay, let's all Google for it, except for using Google the correct way and being aware of the cyber threats that are threatening our community or our nation at this moment. What else? What are my emergency actions in case I got the virus in my laptop?
Well, you have to reach out to the specialists of cybersecurity, and he can help you. He or she can help you. I mean, obviously, you cannot fight with the virus which already harmed you.
Right.
Yes, of course. So you have to prevent it. So what we can do from our side, I mean, from what regular users can do, is to prevent get into the virus.
It's easier to prevent other than to get rid of, right?
Obviously, yeah.
Okay, let's all be aware. Thank you so much for coming and explaining the whole situation. That was Kyrylo Bialo. He is an IT expert and a general manager at Crossover in Ukraine. Thank you so much for watching UATV. Stay tuned for more.